Alright, let's have some fun. Here's a really weird PvP build. I think you're absolutely gonna love it. This is the next episode of the Indefinite series, How to Have Fun in Destiny. Each episode in this series is a build that's balancing competitiveness with weirdness because I think that's a way to infuse some fresh air into your PvP experience, and I like nestling right between trying and chilling, and I think you might too. For today's episode, we'll be taking a page out of cammycakes' book, pairing Mechaneer's trick sleeves with Drang, smoke bombs, and a bunch of fragments and mods to set up some epic sidearm clips. Alright, let's get started. While most of my fun build recommendations are pretty straightforward, this one is much more complex and invites you to set up a complicated situation where you're actually able to 2-tap someone with Forerunner and then go on a streak using Devour. It's a lot more attainable than you think and it's super fun. Plus, notably, sidearms have just gotten a massive buff these days, so it's really easy to use them, which means they're putting a ton of pressure on the former kings of the close range primaries, SMGs. Thanks to these buffs, sidearms are kind of the king of the meta right now, and with this build it just takes it to the next level. What's funny is that I actually gathered a lot of the footage for this video before the sidearm nerfs, and this build was already extremely powerful and fun then, so using it post sidearm patch has been kind of stunning because it just got even better. Also, I have to mention again that this build is basically identical to a cammycakes build I saw in some of his YouTube videos, and it just really stuck with me across 2 seasons now, which is why I've been enjoying it so much. I think it maybe originated from someone called Paulo. I don't know, I just saw it on YouTube. I absolutely loved it and I think you might too. Whoever came up with it, thank you so much, you're a genius. I'm having a ton of fun with it, and if any of you watching know more builds that are similarly complex yet super satisfying like this one, please let me know in the comments or in the video suggestions channel on my server. Just make sure you pick up the content advisor role first so you can see the channel. I'm absolutely hooked on this build, and I found that I don't even care if I'm losing or winning when I'm using it. Just getting like 1 clip per match with it is such an awesome rush that it's all totally worth it. Okay, before I keep gushing about it, let's go live to the studio and I'll walk you through this thing, and then afterwards we'll talk about the playstyle recommendations. So essentially what you're going to do is weaken a target with your snare bomb or your spike grenade, because Echo of Undermining weakens targets. When you defeat a weakened target with a precision final blow, which is easy to do with these sidearms, you're going to create an orb of power. When you pick up that orb of power, it's going to give you Devour, and then you can go on a string of kills. Furthermore, you can pair this with Stylish Executioner, which is even better, and then you can equip Echo of Persistence, so your Devour and your Invis lasts even longer, and you'll get wall hacks when you get a kill. And then Vanishing Step is just nice. Gambler's Dodge will help you get your smoke back quicker, as will the 100 Strength. It's better to have even lower recovery, which will put you in the red, so when you swap to a sidearm with Mechaneers, you're going to get that damage boost. It's also nice to have the increased ready and reload speed and airborne effectiveness with Mechaneers. But the whole thing here is once you do get that orb, you're going to switch to your sidearm, which is going to give you Charged Magazine because it's going to consume your charge with light, and then Charged Magazine paired with High Energy Fire because you have Taking Charge, and High Energy Fire is going to make whichever sidearm you're using do a ton of damage. With Forerunner, you can 2-tap, which is obviously the really exciting thing, but you can get that damage even higher with Mechaneers if you're in the red. Mods wise, I do Double Bomber, I do Absolution, so every time I pick up an orb I get ability energy back. I do Double Unflinching, ideally my resilience would be even higher. Radiant Light obviously helps get your strength up. Fastball I would say is very important. Powerful Friends is nice for getting mobility up. High Energy Fire is essential, and then Solar Siphon is something I saw cammycakes using, and that's just nice if you get a Drang double kill. Then you're going to get another orb, which is just another way to get charged with light and get the whole machine rolling. Stats wise, I would love to have higher mobility, but my higher priority is high resilience, high discipline, and high strength. You can do either tether you want. When you defeat a target that's tethered, you'll get an orb from it because it's a weakened target. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. You're going to weaken a target. You're going to get a precision final blow on them. You're going to get an orb. You're going to have Devour and Charge with Light, and you're going to switch to your Forerunner, and then you're going to 2-tap, and it feels really, really, really good. And see, Devour is still rolling, so if this guy gets here, I can get another one and be full health right away if I was weak from this guy. When you're in the red and you switch to Mechaneers, you can get a 2-tap on some people again, which is quite nice. Drang is also going to do a lot of damage too. And then finally, what on earth? So like, let's say you get in a fight with one person, you get the precision kill and orb, and then somebody else is keeping you red. You can do 130 to that one, and then hopefully you would still have Devour rolling, and then you can get that active. And then you'll still have Charge Magazine probably when you switch back. So it's just a really, really nice series of events. Also, like I said, you can get those orbs from that. It's just a really fun build. I highly recommend it. It's the most exciting thing when it happens in a match. Thank you so much to Easy Mode and Tony Mars for helping me out here, and let's go look at Drang crafted rolls. So for Drang crafted rolls, I would say because Drang has high range thanks to the high zoom and high handling is coming from the Mechaneers, you can go for high stability. In addition, you can go for high AE with steady rounds. It's going to add up and feel amazing. There's definitely something to be said for disruption break, because what you can do is break a shield with Drang and then swap very fast with Mechaneers to Forerunner, and it's going to be buffed. You can do a ton of damage, which is great. And then obviously Eye of Storm or Moving Target are just your excellent picks for just winning duels up front. Wellspring is also quite nice for getting that ability energy. And then Well-Rounded is going to be nice because you're always throwing grenades and smokes. There's really no bad roll on Drang. No matter what you put on this weapon, it's going to be amazing. I've been using garbage rolls of it for weeks and it's still an incredible thing. Okay, now let's talk about playstyle. For the playstyle of this build, you're going to have to play in somewhat close quarters, so you'll need to watch out for shotgun apes or melee rubber banding and things like that. And for this reason, there's a fair amount of prediction that you need to do with this build. Like usually before your enemies push you, you need to have already thrown your grenade or your smoke bomb, so when they get to pushing you, there's already a debuff happening to them and you have your weapon ready in your hands to fight. What doesn't work is throwing a smoke bomb or a grenade when they've already started fighting you. You'll probably just lose those engagements. It's definitely a skill to learn over time, and reading each person's habits will be different, but it's a really good skill to practice if you want to take your PvP acumen to the next level. Keep an eye on what loadouts people are using and their username or what their armor looks like, so when you hear sound effects or see them on screen or you see something happen in the kill feed, you'll kind of have a hint as to what to expect and what they're going to try to do. Maybe they're super aggressive, so you're going to want to throw a smoke bomb at your feet and immediately dodge backwards, or maybe they're a bit more long range, so you place a spike grenade on the wall behind them just before they peek. Whatever you do, getting good at prediction will be the key with this build. Okay, so here are the rotations you can do to set yourself up for some exciting clips. The first one that's going to happen a lot is that you're going to get into red health and you're going to be able to switch to your Drang or more likely your Forerunner and then get a 2-tap that way. The other iconic rotation is weakening someone with a smoke or a grenade and then getting a precision kill on them, usually with Drang. Then you'll pick up that orb and get charged with light and get Devour and get surprise attack when you switch weapons. I usually get the precision kill with Drang and then swap to Forerunner after picking up the orb, which puts the 2-tap machine in my hands with Devour rolling. However, it's important to note that you might want to just crouch or go invis and hang out next to that orb and wait for someone to push you. Then as you're shooting them, walk over the orb while you're fighting and you'll get all your health back mid-fight, and then when you kill them, you'll instantly go full health again. Probably at this point someone else pushes you and suddenly you're full health yet again, and you probably still have a damage boost rolling. That's the series of events that I'm most interested in. Now, the third rotation that can happen is more complicated and rarer, but essentially, like I said earlier, if you have a charged magazine perk and you get into red health, the Trick Sleeve perk when you switch to Forerunner will activate, and now with Trick Sleeves plus charged magazine plus high energy fire, you can hit that 130 damage shot with Forerunner and you're gonna squeal with joy like a little hog. Oinkies! Okay, our victorious porcine revels aside, I should finally mention that I do think you can actually take this into endgame PvP like Trials or Survival, because sidearms and invis are just super powerful right now. However, that said, I think where this build shines is in Rumble, where you can stagger the engagements you get in very nicely. Like, you get in one fight, then you're instantly ready for the next 1v1 with Devour and your damage boost, and it just snowballs, but you're not getting overwhelmed by getting team shot or supered like you would in Control. I hope you try this build out, because I think you'll really have fun with it, and it might help give you a fresh way to enjoy PvP. And if you don't, that's cool too. Like all my PvP fun build videos, there's inevitably going to be plenty of ways to iterate on these and improve them over time. So if you have any suggestions, please drop them in the comments so we can improve this build over time, and you could help inspire other folks too. I'm really obsessed with this whole weaken Devour combination thing, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on what else I can do with this build, or other things that are just similar to it. Thank you so much to my patrons for tempting me to quit my day job and do this full time, and you should sub so you don't miss the next episode of Fun Builds and Destiny PvP. If you missed the introductory episode of this series, check it out. It's linked on screen right now, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.